All right, what's up? What week are we on? Is this week 14? Is this episode 14? Is that where we're at?
Yeah, unless I've lost count.
Welcome to episode 14, everyone. We're here as quick as it seems like it's come upon me. I don't know about you guys, but we're in the middle of November already. Where at my house at least, we're well into the holiday season. So this week we're gonna do a little intro on some holiday wish list stuff we have, and that's just sort of a fun way. As I was just telling Joey, before we hopped on live, just I think a lot of us do the annual goals thing. So we're coming up at the end of the year, maybe some year end hobby goals we might have. Or I also look at the Christmas Day games in the NBA, which is obviously a marquee event in the NBA. Is the good first barometer of sort of the first chunk of the season's wrapped up and reevaluating things heading into All Star break and trade deadline. So we're just gonna wing it a little bit today. We can talk a little bit. I want to hear from you guys as far as maybe some sets you want to complete, some cards you're eyeing up that you hope to land before the end of the year to reach some of your hobby goals, or what you're all thinking about your teams right now. And I see I didn't even ask Ryan what jersey are we rocking today.
Oh, this one, it's actually a Porter Jr. So I got it
Oh,
for $25, because nobody nobody really wants Porter Jr. It's actually one of the Swingman jerseys, so the
nice.
decent quality ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously, we hope some people join live and kind of join the conversation. So, but before we do that, let's do our updates. I have nothing to share. I've not gotten any cards in. I've not gone any shows, any card shops. So I have nothing hobby update related to share. So I'll just pass it off to you guys if anything you want to fill us in on about what y'all been up to in the hobby the last week.
I mean, I got some cool ones to share. I already showed you this one, Steve, but this is a flawless Ty Lawson from 14-15.
Look at that patch.
Little chunky patch in there. Yeah, the gold out of 10. It was in a BGS 7.5 gridded case, and it was cracked out probably within 2 hours.
Next time, we're going to make you crack it live on air with us.
Yeah, that was a tough one, though, because those BGS case, man, they seal them really well. And so I used the locking pliers. I actually still got them sitting here. And I had to go around that thing a bunch, man, to get it out. And I was telling you, I kind of manhandled the thing to get it out. It's like cracked in a bunch of different spots. But yeah, it just looks a lot better.
Is that one of the BGS cases that has like the solid top piece?
Yeah. Yeah. And they're thick, for the thicker cards.
Yeah.
Those are probably the toughest to crack. Although Steve will tell you they're the easiest because you do the split down the middle, right?
Yeah, I would just split it down the middle. How much shrapnel did you have flying through the air?
Not a lot. So with the locking pliers, you kind of go around it and loosen it. I think I got a video up on my Instagram that I made a couple months ago. But once you kind of loosen it, you can peel it off. The only problem with that, though, is I did have a couple pieces fly off because I probably didn't loosen it enough. And they're thick, they're sealed well. So yeah, there's a little bit of.
I was going to say, you showed me a picture of the aftermath, and the thing was shattered into like 1,000 pieces.
Yeah,
so I'm calling you bluff with no shrapnel.
Compared to my methods of the past, it's cleaned up a bit.
Yeah.
Another one I got that's kind of cool is another flawless. So this is a Dan Issel Emerald.
That's
with
nice.
A little nice patch in there. This is let's see here. 17-18 flawless.
Nice. Does that green pop more than other flawless years? I don't even know if I have any flawless emeralds, but that green looks like it pops really nice.
It's honestly probably the light. It's a little flat, like it's not kind of hollow foil like you'd see in the latest release, which I don't know if you guys have gotten any flawless in from 24-25. The hollow foil they're using is really nice this year.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good looking card still, but like the hollow foil they used this year, I wish they would have done that throughout the whole run, because even the silvers are really nice. Like a lot of years they have the silver, but it's like the flat silver. This year it's like silver hollow foil all over the place, and golds look great. Actually, I got a Rick Barry in today.
Oh, nice.
You can see that.
That's really nice.
Yeah, that really pop.
So yeah, they did a great job. I mean, on their way out, but I think they did a good exit.
They also did the green hollow foil, which I don't think I've ever seen them do before, which was really cool.
Yeah.
let's not give them too much credit, though. You guys have all seen the first off the line foil, though, right? That hideous magenta purple foil. That, like,
yeah, that was pretty bad looking.
I mean, Ryan, hold that card up again, right? So the auto that you have. I mean, there's a lot of foil in this year's Flawless, and on some of them where it's just a very tacky, over the top foil. In my opinion, it really hurts the appeal of the cards. It's pretty aggressive.
Yeah, there is a lot of kind of design, I guess. In previous years, if you like the lack of design, I mean, even if you look at the Isora, it's really just the foils just on that patch area and maybe just minimally along the sides almost. So I get that some people it's going to turn some people off, but it's something different. I mean, they're usually pretty white design wise. So
yeah, in case people are interested in seeing, this is an example of the first off the line foil. This pink, magenta, whatever.
I can see it glowing on your face right now.
Yeah.
Oh, did you find a photo of it?
Let me see if I can. I'm trying to share my screen. Hold on. Let me see if I can figure this out. No, I can't figure this out right now. Then, oh, there we go.
There we go.
Ah, there it is. Yeah.
And that one actually doesn't look that bad because it's got some of the shiny patch. But like if you were to take Ryan's auto that he showed and put that magenta, pink, purple stuff all over it, it's a bit much in my opinion.
Yeah, no, for sure.
It definitely it's a big contrast with some of the stuff like the Nuggets patches. They're red and yellow, and that magenta just does not look good. So it's probably very dependent on what you have in there.
I was also noticing that I think this is the first year where they mixed the foils. So I feel like a lot of the autos have the hollow foil. So patch autos and autos have the hollow foil. But a lot of just the standard patch cards I've seen have used more of this, like a flat foil, which I'm assuming that's just them using up materials that they have, which I don't blame them for. But in the past, like in 14, 15, like Ryan had that other one of the best years of hollow foil, and that's just consistent across the whole board. With other years where it's been a flat foil, as far as I can remember, it's just they've used the same style of foil consistently throughout the entire product year. So. Just an interesting observation I was making is going through stuff because as we've talked about, hollow foil can definitely make or break, be that little cherry on top of a design for sure.
Very true. Yeah.
Right. Anybody else got any updates?
I got a couple flawless cards too. I kind of disagree on the foil side of things. I think more is better personally. And oddly enough, I have a Rick Barry I pulled out that came in as well. But
I didn't say more wasn't better. I was saying that if that was neon pink foil, it would not be a card to go after.
Like this card here is
that's nice.
got as much foil as possible. Gold, it kind of refracts, so it's hard to tell the golds and the silvers on this apart. But I think this is one of the better designs they've done in a while. And I've picked up a few different things from the set. I've got a couple of the flyers coming in. I think those are pretty sharp. The finesse autographs look pretty good. These are framework. I think they look pretty good as well.
Well, what's so cool is that it seems like, I don't know, I'm not the expert across the runs or across the years, but like it just doesn't seem like something a subset Flawless has really done before. I feel like a lot of the patch auto subsets and stuff, they all just look so similar across the years, but that really looks unique because of the whole framing theme.
Yeah, it's definitely something different than I've seen from them before, and it kind of breaks up some of the all-white design, which some people love that. You see people that only collect Flawless or predominantly white cards. That's the downside to me. I wish Flawless had more variation. So like those there kind of break up the solid white, where if you didn't say Flawless on there, you might think that was a different product.
Yeah, that could easily be like an impeccable design or even some sort of like spin off of noir. I like that. It's got like the background behind the play is really unique. It's like framed, but then it also has, for people that listen, I'm not going to describe it, but like a grid. It's almost like in a picture frame. There's like a grid textured background look to it that carries the foil through that. Yeah. No, it makes the player image pop.
And that's all right?
Yeah, it's a neat design, and this may be the same design as the Brick Berry that Ryan showed, but I got this one in as well. Bob Pettit, just silver.
Oh, nice.
That's classic.
That is really nice. I think that's different. I don't think that's quite the same.
No, it may not be. It's similar enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of it is slightly different, or
it is different.
fairly different. But there's a lot of different designs for the autos. And I feel like that's kind of cool too, because yeah, Rick Barry probably has 3-4 different designs, but it just makes it easier to be able to get one of those cards too if you're after an auto his.
Sure.
So I've been going a little bit heavy. Like I feel like the finesse ones look really great. I don't have one in yet. But Abra over on the hobby boards posted a couple of his Sean Kemps, and the finesse one I thought probably looked the best out of all of them. So definitely looking forward to getting one of those in.
Those are pretty sharp. I've been trying to get a gold Magic Johnson one of those. They look really good, but I've been outbid like second place, I think, on 2 or 3 copies now.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't mind me sharing, I'll share the one that Abra put up.
Oh yeah. Now that we know how to share the screen, let's do it.
Exactly. Right? Now I'm like an expert at this stuff. So yeah, it might be hard to see. I guess I can. There you go. Zoom in on that. But like
that's really nice.
Really good looking card. Like, and I think what it does so well is it kind of does everything we've talked about, right? It like breaks up some of the white because there's the background, the black and white background in there of the action shot, but then the foils also like elegantly done on the corners, and then obviously a great action shot. I mean, yeah, it's a great card.
That's something I harp on all the time is the action shots, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think they knocked it out of the park with those finesse. So I actually have a specific eBay search now for those. So when they pop up, I'll throw in like some low snipe bids and stuff, see if I can land a couple.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good search. A couple of people hanging out with us. So what's up, Drew? Yeah, it's a great set. Adam, you have anything else? Or were you done? Oh, you're muted.
I was just going to show I don't have one of these in hand yet. I've been doing some card hobby buying lately. This is one of the many I've been buying over there. But this set is also really nice. I like the flyers. They're all Duncan in action photos.
Nice.
Those are pretty cool. And they have pretty good feel.
Oh, yeah. Then I am the Aaron Gordon from that style card.
Nice.
Here's another one. Flip through. Dominique as well.
Oh, very cool.
Oh, that's cool with the image from behind. I like that a lot.
Yeah. I feel like it's been a nice touch, Flawless, adding some little hints of in-game stuff and background stuff in there instead of the all white. Yeah, I have nothing. I was sharing earlier, and obviously, if you remember from last week, my voice was shot. I ended up coming down with the flu. So between trying to uphold responsibilities and not get everyone sick, but also I've been like, I went to work with a 104 fever this week, and I came back. I was like, oh, I probably should have like not driven to work, but it's fine. But yeah, I spent pretty much 48 hours just like in and out of consciousness as I spent my Veterans Day in bed and stuff. So yeah, so I have been kind of just like
saving all your money for Christmas to buy stuff for the kids and wife, right?
Yep, there you go. Exactly. Yeah, we're heading actually to Disneyland with my sister and her kids when they come in for Thanksgiving. So I'm spending a lot of money there.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's pretty much it, I think.
Well, let's see where this conversation takes us. And so you guys have been talking for a little bit. I know Joey needs probably a break already. Might be winded because I feel like you walked up 100 flights of stairs. The flu's the worst.
Yeah, but it's like every time I stand up, I feel like I need to lay down again.
Yeah. So I brought one card with me, and I'm going to use it to talk about one of the things on my hobby wish list for the rest of the year. And it's a 2-part piece. So the Celtics won the championship in 2024, and every time, wow, that sounds so spoiled. So I was going to say every time they win it, but when they won it in 2008, I picked a project that I wanted to work on. So I got an autograph of every member, including the GM and the coach on the roster. So front office, coach, entire bench. I went deep, and I wasn't able to do that with 2024. They just don't make the breadth of autos anymore. Like finding the role players wasn't going to be possible. The rosters are so much larger. The 10-day contracts are more. So I knew I'd never be able to get an auto realistically of everybody unless I went with some in person. So I chose a different project for 2024. And so what I went with this is the camera's not going to capture it. If you want to zoom in, maybe. But I went with the project I chose for 2024's championship team was a Revolution Galactic of every player that has one available. So Tatum all the way down through. This is Jordan Walsh. He was the rookie that year. So the project that I hope to finish, and I don't know, if you guys are looking for any modern stuff. The project that I hope to finish is Drew Holiday has a Galactic in the most recent version of Revolution as a Celtics. It's his only year that he was in Revolution as a Celtic, and I, for the life of me, cannot find a Galactic of his. I've only seen one pop up on eBay, and the guy wants $300 for it graded. It's unless he might have put the decimal point in the wrong spot because it's about a $30 card. But I'm having, and again, I throw this out there, I am having a really tough time finding some hobby stuff that I'm looking for. I just think Panini released too much of it all at once, and I don't think it's getting opened. Galactics are rare, but they're not so rare that a card's not going to pop up on eBay in a 6-month time frame. So my hobby goal is hopefully by the end of the year to be able to finish that run. It's in a Z folio, so it's a 12 card Z folio page. At the bottom is a set of my favorite insert from Revolution is called Liftoff, and I'll try to see if I can pull one out while I talk. So I did the Tatum. This Tatum has 4 years in that set, so I got all of his Galactics on the bottom, and then there'll be 8 Celtics that from the championship team that had Galactics. So it'll be a perfectly balanced Galactic page in my binder. So I'm really hoping to finish that off this year. And if I pad for 1 second. So liftoffs every year were a die cut insert action photo. So this is my favorite die cut design. So I went and got, you can see the Galactic design there. So Tatum's got 4 die cut liftoff inserts. So I got all those Galactics. And then to follow up, my other hoops hobby wish list for the holiday season is I need to see I won't go too deep into this. I need to see the Boston Celtics find their identity. And the reason I picked a Jordan Walsh card is he's in his 3rd year in the league, and he's finally getting some run and showing his potential, as an NBA player. So been watching the team a lot recently. They are, I dare do a 6-7 joke right now. They're 6-7 on the year. They've kind of floundered. They've had some good wins. They've had some bad losses. They have not been able to close out games well at all. So I just really hope that they can start to find a rotation of players that could be. I think they have players that could be on the roster for the foreseeable future. I like Josh Bynett. I like what I'm seeing from Jordan Walsh. I don't like what I'm seeing from Anthony Simons. I'm not super excited about what Peyton Pritchard's been doing so far this year. So I just hope that they can start to find what the team will look like moving forward and find some consistent rotations so they can sort of rebuild their identity. So Jordan Walsh has been an amazing surprise. So really, really love seeing the young guys kind of find their groove in the league. And he shut down Tyrese Maxey the other night. I mean, just absolutely shut the guy down in the 4th quarter. Celtics still lost, but he did his part. So
that loss must have killed you right there at the last second, huh?
Not unexpected. I mean, I'm not going to go. I have a lot. I mean, they're out of timeouts. Their plays. Jaylen Brown's been excellent this year until the last 5 minutes of a game. Then he starts to overthink and impress a little bit. Peyton Pritchard can't hit an open shot to save his life. Sam Howes is bricking threes. So bad losses aren't surprising me right now, but the inconsistent rotation, they just don't have an identity right now. So it's been an odd season to start early on. And those are my hoops hobby wish list items for the remainder of the year. 1 card related, one just fan related.
That's an awesome project. I feel like it almost has to be imperative that if your team makes a memorable run, obviously any championship run is a memorable run, that you have something in your collection to memorialize that. I just feel like it has to be, I mean, that's really cool. Are all your liftoffs, you said Galactics? It's specifically the Galactic versions. Nice.
Yeah. So Tatum was in that set 4 times. So I chased it, and some of them took a long time to get, but I chased the Galactics for each of those 4 years.
That's very cool. Was the one that you showed your favorite one? I don't know what year that was.
22, 23 maybe. 21, 22. So they all have it's the best combination. So for people that are listening on audio, it's Tatum rising for a dunk, and it's a very clear, elevated, almost full body picture. And the die cut is very angular, is where some of them more rounded off and stuff. There's one that's like this one I pulled out by mistake. I like this one too. This is again him going off for a dunk, but it almost is like the support ribbons, right? Like that think of the old, I think of like the 9/11 ribbons or the cancer awareness ribbons, but it's got that sort of, it's a rounded design and the background sort of swoops through like those ribbons. Love the image on this, love the galactic design, don't love the die cut shape. So there's different ones. There's one where he's just like posting up, and then it's also a rounded one that is my least favorite. But just even with that, I just, something about a galactic die cut, it's just sort of an oddball kind of card to chase. So I really like those.
That's like the one parallels that I regret not keeping up with, because I used to be pretty heavy into them. When was Galactic when it first came out? Was that 15, 16 or?
Yeah, 15, 16 was that first year where they weren't labeled on the back, and then 16, 17 they started to run with them.
Because I got the Jokic, which is, rookie card and all that, pretty low numbered. I think, I don't know, who knows what the print run is nowadays, but rumors of it being like, out of 10 or something back in those unnumbered. Well, they're still unnumbered, right? I don't think they
not numbered. Yeah, rumors. The estimated run on them is 15, but that, I mean, who knows? But that's the people that do that reverse engineering stuff estimate around 15.
Yeah, and I put together that set, the 15, 16 set, and kind of went after him for a couple of years, and then kind of dropped out. I think I got out of Revolution because it started going to a lot of sticker autos, and that was disappointing. But I should have probably just kept chasing the Galactics because they are really neat cards.
Yeah.
You put together the entire base set, 15, 16?
Nuggets, right?
No, sorry, the Nuggets set. Yeah, the Nuggets Galactic set. Yeah. When I say set, it's usually Nuggets set.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, those are cool. And yeah, I just wish I would have kept up with it. I think I have a couple 16, 17, 17, 18, and I maybe have one from 18, 19, and I kind of lost interest of it because of all the sticker autos that came out. Like back when you remember back when you could actually buy boxes of things and get excited about the product back when it was affordable. Well, I guess they've always kind of stayed somewhat affordable even through the boom.
Yeah, I think the most I ever saw like a hobby box for was like 150-ish. But I think the other thing that they did with Revolution that I think hurt it a lot was when they went, that was one of the products they pushed very heavily with like the international specific boxes. So they had like the Chinese New Year releases, which were hot garbage. And then they had some of the like the Tmall stuff and the internet. So they ended up taking what was, I loved it because it was on-card autos, but not guaranteed an auto per box. So there was almost like a 90s feel to it where like you hope to get sort of the case hit or the chase card, but you weren't guaranteed one. And then it was a number of parallels that was very manageable. They were good, well-done inserts. It was kind of like a very well-balanced product, and, old guys screaming at the clouds type stuff. They used to be $65 a box, right? So you could get, even the base rookies look nice. But then when they started to, not as bad as Select, but when they started to spread it out and differentiate and take it to then they had Chinese, whatever, fireworks parallels, and then they added these couple different ones of ones and emerald greens out of 8 and out of 80. It just became too much.
Well, and eventually they went to retail too.
Did they?
Yeah, I think 23, 24. I think Wemby's.
Yeah, now that you say that, I think you're right. They did, yeah, because I saw some. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think Shay's on the box, on the cover of the retail stuff. Now that you say that, but still, like the cards that I like out of it, though, I still think are great looking cards. So,
yeah,
Galactics stand the test of time,
Yeah, I think they're pretty. Are they not pretty affordable Galactics nowadays? Like, I'm sure the superstars and stuff. I don't know what Jokic runs, but I feel like an average player is pretty affordable. And then even a star, like a star or all-star, you can probably get, like you were saying, Steve, like $30. I don't think that's unreasonable to ask or whatever. I think it's pretty easy to find something for that price.
No, yeah, you nailed it. I mean, I'm sure, Ryan just dropped in there that he has in first year Galactic Jokic rookie, which is stupid valuable card, but absolutely, I'm sure if he wanted to go on and buy the 24, 25 Galactic, it would. I mean, Jokic is still very well collected, but I would assume that he could get that for somewhere between $50 and $100 if he wanted to do like a base run of Galactic. The earlier stuff would be tough for a little bit more money, but they're not. It's not like a Prism Gold where I'm sure I could, if I went on eBay right now, a Prism Gold Sam Hauser card is probably still a $300 card, even if it's a not rookie card like this. So it's not at that insane level like some of the other stuff.
Insane.
Pretty sure I have the last raw copy of that card.
Yeah. You think the rest have been graded?
Oh, I guarantee. Yeah, I've seen a bunch. I'm in a Jokic chat, occasionally pop in here and there. And, I've seen, I think 3 of them that someone purchased from somebody, all together. And they're all graded. And then as I seen them pop up, they're always graded. So I usually don't post like, hey, here's my raw copy sitting in a binder. But yeah.
I'm not super well versed in Revolution. What is the galactic pattern itself?
It's like it came from something back in the day. It's like the star kind of looking pattern almost.
Let me see if I can find with not much of a background. So
Like a disco, maybe?
It's more that it moves atoms. So I don't know if you can see that. It's like that.
Okay. Yeah.
It goes from that like 4 peak to that, and I don't even know how to describe it, but you see it kind of move in the background there.
Yeah.
So it's a very subtle foil effect that has that star-based movement to it.
I've only had one ever, and oddly enough, it was a Jokic second year, and I had it for a very short period of time and can't remember what it looked like pattern-wise.
I don't like saying, anything compared to anything to PMGs because it's so overused. Like everything's the next PMG or this looks like a PMG. But honestly, it kind of looks like the Metal Universe Championship, the 97 Metal Universe Championship. Like it's that kind of level of coolness.
The better PMGs?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You call that like the scope pattern in Panini years.
Yeah.
But it's on that level of kind of like uniqueness where they haven't really used that pattern much in their product. So I think that helps it stand out and maybe stand the test of time,
And how good it looks or how much it stands out really is dependent on the year, because like some years of Revolution, the base cards are ugly and it really cuts down. So this is 2020, this is 2020, 2021, and this is a Galactic. It's a very busy background, so these dark brown or gray swirls through it, a heavy border on one side. It's just, this is the ugliest year of Revolution. And you can even see, I know I'm just on a cheap camera, but it just doesn't allow the Galactic design to come through as well, in addition to being an ugly year. So there are some years where the design really pops through and makes the card almost give it like a 3D effect and there's movement in the background, then other years where it's just sort of flat and not as vibrant.
Yeah, that definitely pales in comparison to the other one you showed.
Yeah. Yep.
Nice. Anyone want to move us forward? I can. If no one's going to. I don't. I don't know. Particularly exciting. I guess my hobby wish lists are typically always the same, and I don't necessarily I don't make yearly goals or anything like that, but I think I would just summarize what I'm hoping for in the next month and a half or so is to just find something I've been looking for a long time. It doesn't have to be a specific set. It doesn't have to be like the stat line memorabilia set. It doesn't have to be a particular King's card I'm looking for or whatever. I did happen to I alluded to a couple weeks ago that I made my first purchase on card hobby. The reason I made that purchase is because of a card I'd been looking for a long time. It was actually a Giannis card. It was my first Giannis auto. And so that's exciting, but I don't know if that counts because I already did it. So I like when I'm able to add something I've been looking for a long time. And I did a couple of those things with the Giannis auto and then the David Robinson auto recently. So those are exciting, but it would be nice to do one more of those things. I guess specifically Kings related, because I don't know that I've said the summer, which feels like it shouldn't seem that far away, but it's like 3 months now since summer ended, or since like summer ended. So I haven't really added a big Kings edition. So that would be nice to do. The other thing that I was thinking, and this is something that I've always had my eye on, is I definitely want to participate in the Pack to the Future Secret Santa this year, because I never have done it because I'm always behind on all my podcasts. So it's like I might go a month or two without listening to a specific podcast, and then I just binge it. I don't know. I'm a binger. Like I'm the same way with shows. I don't really keep up with shows when they come out, and then I'll just watch like all 7 episodes straight of the season. So for whatever reason, I do that, and then by the time I like binge Back to the Future, the Secret Santa stuff is over. So I want to be in on it this year. I want to try to keep up on it. It's hard. The tough part about this time of the year is it's also concert season. So I spend a lot of my time like listening to bands that I'm about to go see live, and then that's where my attention shifts away from hobby podcasts and stuff. So I need to get on top of that. And I know like some of you guys might participate in that stuff. So maybe give me a heads up if you hear about that, but I really want to participate in that.
All right, so I'll let you know that right now that the deadline that they've already announced that the deadline to reach out to Chad and Ricky is this upcoming weekend. So you've got a few days to DM them on Instagram.
Yeah, so convenient that we ended up doing this today.
I want to thank the Kings for a big pickup on the Celtics end because our starting center was waived by you guys a season and a half or two ago, and Neemias Cater has. I call him the Robert Williams, the poor man's Robert Williams, when he stays healthy. But he's been electric this year. He's one of the fun players to watch this year. And what's the next concert? You piqued my interest with that one.
Well, so I was actually going to go to a concert on Saturday. I ended up not because I was like bedridden. But my next concert is Monday evening. It's a interesting band. It's a smaller band. They're called Set It Off. They kind of started a little like pop rocky, maybe pop punky, and they left record labels and went independent in the last few years and went more metal. So I'm kind of like not super pumped, but I got tickets, like their tickets on SeatGeek. I got my ticket from SeatGeek for $13. So I was like, it's kind of hard to turn down a $13 concert. So
yeah, you give that a try.
Yeah. So, and it's a band I enjoy, even if their more recent stuff I'm not as big of a fan of because it's a little too hard for me, like harder metal. So, but yeah, so that's what's coming up next.
Nice.
Yeah, but no, on the Kata front, it's so funny. Everyone, like all Kings fans, were just confused. Why are we waiving this guy? Like he has to be better than running out Alex Len for 20 minutes a night or 12 minutes a night for the last 3 years. But and now he's the starting center in Boston, and he's, correct me if I'm wrong, at least played some role on the team in the last year or two. So it's like I don't know how a player like that can find a role on an actual NBA team and then like a G League team can't play him. I don't understand, but
you're trying to use logic to make sense of what the secondary Kings do. So that's the first mistake. It kind of brings me back to what you said earlier about us as in the Celtics winning the championship and giving us a reason to celebrate. I was meaning to say it back then. If you guys make a playoff berth, do you start buying things of that team to celebrate?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, maybe not during the playoff run because I'm not like able to divide my attention when I'm watching the playoffs. Like I'm reading whatever Reddit after and watching post game analysis after. Like I'm all in on that. But yeah, definitely. Like I'm always going to have there's always going to be an affinity for the Keegan Murray's, the De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk, like even if and Sabonis, like even if they didn't end up like Fox, like I don't like him and what he did last year in facilitating the trade to the Spurs, but like I can't deny that he was a huge part of probably one of the only positive memories that I've had as a Kings fan in the last 2 decades. So
Give us I'm actually interested to hear from this, and I'm not mocking the Kings at all when I say it, but like it was the 23-24 was the light the beam season, right? Like Matt Barnes was working as part of the studio team. He was pumping the team up. They were getting highlights, right? That was the light the beam season that like us in Boston would know that you guys were throwing a purple beam up into the sky, right? Was that the big season they made it to the playoffs and had a lot of momentum behind them?
That would be how many seasons ago? So 23-24. I think it was 22-23, wasn't it?
Was it?
I don't know.
I think you're right.
I know it was recent, but
yeah, it was 22-23.
Tell us what that was like. From like, is that so? You look back on, and I'm honestly not mocking. So like that level of like, you guys had basically 82 games of momentum, national coverage. There was excitement. I mean, it was definitely sellout crowds like that.
Yeah,
Like
we had a
that.
ton of national televised games
Yeah.
on the schedule the following year.
So that's like that's like the core memory of like King, and but that like that's fun for you, right? Like that sort of moment. You guys built it. It took a few years. You built that team. You knew it might not stay together, but like that was exciting, and that was.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, at the end of the day, there's no reason to expect if we didn't, build that team. Obviously, most people would say building that team was contingent on trading Halliburton for Sabonis, which who knows what would have happened if we didn't do that, and we could be in a lot better position now, short term and long term. But at the end of the day, I think I've always argued the reason that the Pacers ended up in the finals last year while the Kings were trading their disgruntled star for probably the most overpaid player in the league and a couple of like barely first round draft picks was just because they're mismanaged. Like Adam said, I mean, it's just like they don't, for whatever reason, from one front office to the next, they can't put together a modicum of what seems like professional basketball management together for whatever reason. And it was such a high, even though there was such a big fall from grace. I mean, we had the clutch player of the year, coach of the year, unanimous coach of the year, executive of the year all together, and then it just all fell apart. So, but no, there's definitely the high there. And I think that there's still a lot of positivity and like there's still called the beam team for a reason. It's just like the beam is not lit this year. I think like the batteries are out on the beam right
now. They're saving on their electric bill for sure this year. That's
definitely, sure. Definitely. But yeah, I mean, it's still a good moment because had that not happened and Halliburton and Fox stayed together, they may have never made it work. They right. One or both would have gotten disgruntled, and then things would have still ended up poorly. So, again, after 23 years of being terrible, one highlight year is at least worth it. So I'll take it.
that tells me there's a healthy fan base there. There's a fan base that wants to be engaged then, and they're looking for a reason to run with the team.
And even when we were 3-8 against the Nuggets, I think, or maybe we were 3-7 at the time. I don't know if you watched the game, Ryan, against the Nuggets, that late tip, but like the crowd was really into it. Like it was a really good crowd. It was a really good fan base. And it was like the Kings couldn't get out of their own way to keep the game competitive in the fourth quarter, but it was fun. And so, yeah, that's the great thing. The best thing about, I think, Kings fans is how loyal they are. So I guess I fit in. I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if you watched the game, and to be honest, like they were a little bit scary for 3 quarters. I mean, they were playing really well. I like Westbrook kind of anywhere. It's cool that you guys landed him because he's just a fun player. I mean, you could kind of tell he was going off maybe a little bit since he's playing his previous team, but yeah, just they play hard. They got some pretty good young guys, and I think. The Nuggets just have such a deep bench this year, and when it connects, it really can do some damage. And they kind of hold out into that fourth quarter a lot of times to bring on the fury. But overall, it was a fun game. I enjoyed it. So
yeah, and I agree. Like it does kind of suck now that we're just the Sacramento Bulls with DeRozan and Levine, and we're kind of just stuck there. But in terms of to keep it a little focused, like. For the Kings, my wish list would just be to just accept the fact that you suck and don't take forever to move your vet pieces. Like you are not going to get a Desmond Bane return for Levine. You're not going to trade Sabonis for what like Rudy Gobert was traded for. It's just not going to happen. There's not that demand. Every player comes with either too big of a contract or Sabonis is too specific of a player to fit in with specific teams. Like, just accept the fact that you suck. Play your vets until you trade them. I cannot believe that Westbrook isn't even starting over Schroeder right now. But like, start your good players, start Westbrook, start Keon Ellis, get rid of everyone, and just at least allow us see development. Like, the problem is that when we sucked, we always were able to root for the development of like DeMarcus Cousins or De'Aaron Fox or somehow Marvin Bagley, like we were able to root for something like that. Now it's just like we got nothing to root for because our only significant young player, Keegan Murray, is injured. Last year's rookie, Devin Carter, can't even see time on the floor. We didn't extend Keon Ellis, and we're not playing him, so why is he going to want to stay? I don't know. It's just a mess. So that's it. I'm done. I'm going to go right now and sign up for Secret Santa, and then someone else can talk.
So you got to give me a heads up on the Secret Santa, because I listen to Back to the Future occasionally, but it kind of almost is going to lead into what I'm going to talk about in a second. But what is it? If you can just give me a brief rundown.
It's something that the guys that run Back to the Future, which is right now, Chad, Ricky, and Chad's wife helps out, and they do a listener-based interactive setup where you can DM them, put your name in the list, and then they randomize the list, and you get sent someone to buy cards for, and then someone else that's set, just like a true Secret Santa works. If you ever done one, like the office party with families, and then they very graciously organize it so I could get Joey in the Secret Santa. Joey wouldn't know I have him. Joey would have sent over, his like 2 or 3 things he collects. So he'd say Sacramento Kings, whatever, and there'd be a list. So I would, either go through my PC and find some cards, or I'd purchase something. Then I would send them to a PO box that PTTF runs, and then they would organize it all, ship it all out, so it keeps it secret. And then we all get together on like a live feed and open them up and make fun of each other. And it's just it's a secret. It's a virtual Secret Santa is what it is, hobby based. So they run it like a true Secret Santa, if that makes sense.
Oh, cool.
And it's perfect, like a hangout, right? It's like the perfect hangout for Christmas or whatever. So
yeah. How do we get signed up? We're going to promote it for a second.
Listen to their most recent episode, which is available on all platforms, and they will give the information there.
Cool. And that, as I said, kind of leads me into something that I was going to talk about. I don't know if you guys saw my recent story post. I know, Steve, you're familiar with this, but was it last week I showed the Gary Harris out of 5 NT RPA? I think it was. Yeah, because I was out the week
platinum.
before. Yep. So anyway, this guy reached out to me and said, "Hey, I saw that you collect Gary Harris. I actually knew him from Blowout Forums back in the day." He says, "I got a big lot of Gary Harris rookie cards. They've just been sitting around forever. I want to send them to you." I was like, "Okay, well, show me what you got." No, I just want to send them for free." So I was like, "That's cool." Yeah, I gave him my address and all that. And like I said, we had done some deals back in Blowout back in the day. I get this medium-sized flat rate box from UPS, or not UPS, USPS. I'm like, "What is this? I don't remember ordering anything big." And then I open it up, and it's like 25 Gary Harris cards. They're all very, high-end cards. Like, here's one of them. This is the 14-15 Immaculate Acetate rookie, numbered to 14, so numbered to the jersey number.
The number set, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
And this card, I have another copy of it. It took me 5-6 years to track one down. The dude sent me 5 of them. So as I was going through this box, I just literally jaw dropped. Just what the hell? It was incredible. There's like couple NTRPAs, there's a couple patches out of Spectra. So what happened was his buddy was going after Gary Harris back then, exited the hobby a couple years ago, and gave all that stuff to him. And he's kind of just hung on to it. And he was telling me someday I'll probably find somebody to gift him to. And I saw you posted that, so I remembered you from the Blowout, and I was like, "Can I compensate you? Because this is like a ton of stuff, man." He's like, "Nah, I'm just glad it's in a good home." So my thought this year is like, I've just decided to, I've had people over the years, and this was pretty common back in the day. You're probably familiar with this, Steve, but you would find somebody that collects, you maybe did a deal with them, you got their address, you'd send them some cards. So I've been kind of lacking at doing that over the years, especially as we say nowadays, the hobby's become a little bit greedy. I'm trying to get back to being more generous. So instead of, it just kind of woke me up, like that guy, his name's Ed, by the way, the Comebacker 75. If you want to check him out on Instagram, definitely give him a follow. But just back to kind of being generous in the hobby. Like, hey, you've got a PC of X player or team, shoot me your address and I'll send you some cards over. That used to be very common back in the day of message boards and before cards went ballistic in the COVID boom. I just remember that happening more and more. So that's kind of my goal this year is just reaching out to some people that have gifted me stuff over the years that I've been a little bit lazy about getting back to them with and just giving back, So that's kind of what I've decided. No, I'm probably still buy cards, but I don't really have a wish list necessarily at the moment. Maybe just finish some team sets, but I just kind of want to give back a little bit.
Hey, you're making us like real jerks here, man. Like,
no, yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to make it seem like I'm high and mighty or whatever, but I just it kind of. It got me thinking, I don't know if you've probably heard the shilling stuff, and there's been multiple podcasts about it. I posted a bunch on Instagram, and I wanted that to die down a little bit before I gave him credit because I didn't want to get it in the way of that. But I was just thinking like, man, the hobby's just turned greedy, and with box prices, with the prices people are paying for cards, you can understand why it all comes down from the top too. But what used to be so cool when it's hard to call it a hobby anymore. Almost, it's really difficult for me sometimes to refer to this as a hobby, just given the prices you got to pay. But back when it was, and I'm trying not to sound like old man yelling at the clouds, but back in the day when it was truly like a hobby where you're just collecting cards for fun, we do that quite often. I think that was how I kind of met you, Steve, is doing deals with you, and we'd swap cards and all that good stuff.
Yeah, but I think Ryan, to put it a little more positively, and nothing you're saying is wrong, but I think part of it is when I think of, and you're right, back in the day, and it's not like we were just sending cards out left and right, but I think of, and I'm sure you got one too, right around the time Blowout was at its peak, but Instagram was coming in. I know our shared friend Jason, if you remember, put together some very fun, thoughtful care packages. I'm sure you got one. I know I got one. And a lot of it was some base cards. There were some funny cards in there, cards that he would troll me with, and then some nicer stuff in there. But I think it's more that as we've gotten away from the forums and stuff and more into social, like instant reaction social media, we just don't make the same level of connections anymore, right? Like there were people on Blowout, on Beckett, that were like your go-to people that you would talk with, and it was easy to see. Like if you'd run into Adam on Blowout, you'd be able to get a sense of what he's like as a collector based on how he was posting or not posting. Whereas now, like you might just see that, hey, this is a guy that has a page of great cards. One's horizontal, one's vertical, one's horizontal, one's vertical. You don't really get to know anything about him, right? So I think it's more that's just harder to get connections right these days in the hobby versus how it was back then with just more long form sort of forums and even Facebook groups that were more focused and organized. So, I think that's what Joey's trying to accomplish with coming up with this idea. I mean, we all know each other because we've had options to interact, but otherwise we would just be an avatar and pictures of cards on Instagram for the most part. So I don't know that it's so much. I think that's fallen away because the connections have fallen away in the hobby. I don't know that it's so, and cards are more expensive now. What was a $10 card back then is now a $60 card. So when do I want to give it away versus keep it with me to bring to a show, right? Like, let's be honest. But no, I think that's admirable. And I also think it is a good way to just think about who are your connections in the hobby and people that you know and stuff. I think it's kind of a nice reflection.
Yeah, and that's true. I could be very jaded in my view because
sometimes never.
Sometimes the hot topic or the hot gossip in the hobby, let's say, it kind of gets to me and I go on a run. Steve's very aware of this. But another thing I want to mention too is not necessarily you got to go out and send cards to a bunch of people. We've talked about this in a previous episode where you just see a card for sale, whether it's on eBay, somebody's story post, and just give somebody a heads up. Hey, I saw this card, it fit in your PC, just stuff like that. And I'm really trying to. It's hard to get on Instagram and not get riled up. I think nowadays, I've sent you my block list, Steve, and it's in the thousands at this point. And I'm just trying to distance myself, but I still see it, and I'm trying to get away from that and maybe get back into what the hobby is more about to me. So
yeah, I like that.
Yeah, and it's like I just want to mention, and Drew mentioned, I wanted to shout out Abra because he still does that stuff too. He still sends cards to people that he thinks he sends whatever. Like he sent me binder pages for free. He's offered. I know Adam and I have talked to him about like one touches essentially free or like super cheap or whatever. So yeah, he's great too. But yeah, I agree. I probably haven't been around as long as you guys to see the old days where it was really generous, but I had a sense of that for years, that there's just like, where is that generosity that I feel like I'd heard about on forums and stuff like that. And just as a quick side note is, I don't know if you guys are familiar on the Blowout baseball forums. They have I just remember the name, a box of stuff giveaway or something like that. But it's there's literally like a box, maybe a flat rate box or something like that goes from member to member to member. So like one member has it, fills it up with some stuff he thinks someone else would enjoy, and then passes it along to another member of the baseball forums. And then that person receives it, takes all that stuff, obviously very appreciatively, refills it for someone else, and then continues the trend or continues the path. So it's great to obviously see that still going. That thread on the baseball forums on Blowout has probably hundreds of pages, so it's been going on for years. So
that's cool.
Great to see that stuff.
We need to bring all those guys over to the hobby sports. I think it's just us basketball guys that are kind of gravitated towards it. But I put it in the chat. But yeah, Arbor sent me some amazing Flair Legacy to complete my Nuggets run, and I want to say it was the 97. It might have been the 98, but he was just saying, hey, I'm breaking up the sets on a lot of stuff. Just send them over. I mean, and those cards can go for a lot nowadays, and it's just cool. Yeah, so he's definitely been one that's done that over the years. So shout out to him again.
Cool, Adam. You want to share?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of talked about this with the guys beforehand. I don't have a great answer to the question. I'm kind of opportunistic in the sense of things I like don't necessarily pop up just regularly to where it's like I'm waiting for the finances or waiting for the right time. It's just waiting for the opportunity. Now, that being said, some of the new sets that have come out, we talked about it a little bit. I've been really having a lot of save searches on the new Flawless stuff, as well as some of the top stuff. I did pick up a Topps autograph. I'll hopefully have to show next week.
Oh, no way.
But there's a few cards that came out in the new Topps run that I like quite a bit. The Chrome insert set's pretty sharp, I think. So I like those. And then the All Kings, I think it's called. It looks like a playing card.
Yep.
The foiling kind of design on those is pretty sharp. I'd like to get one of those, maybe like a Tracy McGrady or something. I think that would be pretty cool. He's in Magic uniform, how I like it. As for the Celtics, I know Steve differs with me, but I'd like to see Jaylen Brown get traded for a washing machine. If you want to trade him for like anybody on the Kings, let him go die there. That'd be great. I'm just he just rubs me the wrong way. He's very talented, but for years whenever it's like the heat of the moment and I see him throw the game away, it just makes me boil over. So
I will say all he had to do in that Sixer game was box out Kelly Oubre on that last putback, and they would have won the game. Just saying.
Yeah. There's pretty much every loss we have within 3 or 4 points. You could point the finger at Jaylen Brown for doing something that did something stupid to get there. But he also is by no means is he only a failure at those moments. He's a person who's made big shots. He's a person who's put us over the edge. It's happened. But when you're that level of talent, in my opinion, you don't get graded on the things that you do that you're expected to do. It's when you fail like that, it's like, come on, what are we doing? Right now, you're supposed to be the best player on the court. Jason Tatum's not playing, and many times this year already. He's been the weakest link in crunch time. So he just frustrates me. Obviously, I don't want a washing machine for him, but I would like to see him get moved
Maybe
around.
a washing machine and dryer combo might be enough.
Yeah, I mean, the combination might be worth it. Actually, oddly enough, today got screwed into buying a new washing machine for my wife and then also picking it up and carrying it into my house and installing it. So washing machines maybe are just the top of mind.
They're in your mind.
Yeah, and how much he got me to spend on one, he might be worth less than a washing machine, honestly. but yeah, I mean, I'm kind of sad about the team. Obviously, Tatum being gone isn't ideal. Cato has been probably one of the bright spots. Walsh has been a bright spot. But as you said earlier, Steve, there's been a lot of low points. Just closing out games, third quarter demises as it was a few years ago. Just shooting the shooting out of everything attempts that we do where we miss 43 points, 3-point shots a night. I mean, it just doesn't work. I don't know what we're doing. Joe Mazzulla is a lucky guy. He found a job with a lot of talent, and the talent has allowed him to keep on trucking along, but he is not a very good coach. I feel the same way with my Bengals. I think we have probably the 33rd best coach in the NFL out of 32 teams. But he got a job with a lot of talent that made him look better than he is.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So,
go ahead.
So I was going to say, potentially ignorant question about the Celtics next year. I know they shed a lot of salary for this year because they wanted to get under aprons and stuff, which I think is important so that they're not repeaters in the aprons and paying those taxes and like getting limited in their accessibility to free agents or whatever buyout candidates and whatever. But what is the path when Tatum comes back to restocking the roster for another championship run? Or is it kind of just hoping that there's development? Or
I think there's a real confusion on the Jaylen Brown side of things. Obviously, many people don't want him to go anywhere. But I think we're kind of getting to a split in the road where something has to be done building-wise to move on from him and get something else for him, a couple other players or something like that. And Steve's more into the kind of the analytics of the contracts, and he loves doing that trade scenario stuff where I'm a little more ignorant, where it's just like Jaylen Brown for a washing machine seems like a reasonable trade in my mind. Make it happen. Whereas he's like, well, no, technically you have to trade this 3-way deal in order to meet everybody's cap space and blah, 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 blah. And I'm just worried about the washing machine. But I do think that we're getting to a point where something has to be done in the world of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown being on the same team with max contracts.
Yeah, and so I think Joey, for all teams, and I won't talk specific. I will say Hondo 80 in the chat just asked about tanking the season. I'm a hard no on any team ever tanking. I think it's important to do your best to build a winning culture. Tanking never works. The Celtics got screwed over twice in my lifetime already with that, and we're not going back down that road. Unless it gets Joe Mazzulla fired, then like tank away, guys.
And would that entail like Jaylen Brown and everyone now? Is that what you guys are referencing?
I have no idea, but I think the Celtics aren't nearly where they need to be salary cap wise to refresh the roster. So they really do need to be developing this year. I think long term, I love Jaylen Brown. I don't know that I trust his knees as he goes into the 30s. I do think for all teams, and we saw Ryan's Nuggets have to trade Michael Porter Jr. last year and somehow got value for that contract, but they've struggled to get the depth with just having, Murray and Jokic on the team, and they got some flexibility, but it's very hard to build a roster, which kind of, to use your term, it sucks because like they drafted Tatum and Brown. They drafted Joker and Murray and Porter. They should be able to keep their players and build around them. But the salary cap makes that really tough. So I think for a lot of teams, whether you got to a championship or the finals, I mean, look what's going on with the Pacers, injuries aside. Like they lost Miles Turner, who's a near max contract. They have zero ability to fill that roster spot, right? So I think a lot of teams are in flux, and I think between transitions and rosters in the league right now and what the salary cap's going to do, I think that's a lot of teams are still going to figure that out. Never mind the Celtics got sold over the summer for a record of like, it's going to end up being a $7 billion sale by the time the finances are finished up. So there's a lot of unknowns in the Celtics right now. So we're happily rooting for a former king and a couple of unknown young guys to see if they can build a little bit of a core for when Tatum comes back.
Now, it seems like the Nuggets figured it out. If you want to refresh a roster that's pretty shallow, you need to trade with stupid teams. So trade your garbage like Dario Saric to the Kings for a legitimate backup big in Valanciunas.
I was amazed by that. Yeah, there was some talk that he wasn't going to come over because he wanted to go overseas, but he's been great, man. And Hardaway Jr., Bruce Brown being back, it's like that's really what we needed, and they made it work. It's been a couple years since we've made any big moves, and they're not huge moves, right? We're not getting another superstar on the team, but just to have a solid bench this year has been quite incredible.
Yeah, that transformation of your bench has been remarkable. Like you said, without adding a huge name or even a star name, like even a semi-star name, it's just crazy how strong that bench got in small moves with these role players.
And Cam Johnson, I will say, like, hasn't been the greatest on offense yet. I think he's got the talent, but just the defense over Porter Jr. is incredible.
Totally.
Like, I was looking at, it's hard when you're watching the game to really pick up on it, but I was looking at some like comparisons that somebody had drew up, and just the amount of defense that he brings is pretty crazy.
That's what I noticed in their game against the Kings. It was like, yeah, he was missing shots, but Porter Jr. is like a turnstile on defensively, right? And I'm familiar with those perimeter turnstiles defensively. So yeah, it's a huge difference.
Let's also not give the Nuggets bench too much credit for being that much different than other teams. It's very easy for those players to look as good as they do when everything's centered around Nikola Jokic. I mean, he is one of the most unique and greatest players to ever play in the NBA.
What was it, like 52, 7 and 14 or something last night? Some ridiculous number.
I mean, the Celtics are waiting for Tatum to come back, who is, I think, an underrated superstar in the league, and whatever. But he's not even in the same stratosphere as Joker. I mean, just Jokic is just next level. He's an all-time great, and he changes the game so much for that team.
Yeah, here it is. That's
what is 55, 6, and 12. Stupid.
On the back of what, like he did 35, 17, and 7 or something against the
Kings.
And
I don't even think he likes playing basketball.
I'd rather be racing horses, man.
I'm really looking forward to the Topps cards you're picking up, Adam. Even I know they'll be few and far between, very specific, but I haven't even picked up a blaster yet. I'm sure I'll start getting into it eventually. I know Ryan's Ryan will probably actually get into it before me, because he'll see the shiny character. But I'm going to be interested to see what I know you'll be filtering through. You watch the break, so I'm going to be looking forward to seeing what you pick up as this Topps Fanatics stuff takes over. Because the quality cards is better than I thought it would be early on, so I'm hoping they do some unique stuff.
Well, I don't know when Topps Chrome is exactly, but I think pre-sale is like next week, right, on Topps Chrome. So
it's coming up quick. I was kind of shocked by that, with all the kind of dump of the final year of Panini, for Topps to go in and release flagship and Chrome within just a few weeks or a month, whatever it is. It was kind of surprising to me. I thought for sure they could have gotten in to maybe the new year before Chrome came out, or Christmas time, but it's quick. One thing too, I think I sent this to Steve, that's kind of intriguing, is the Topps living set they started doing. I don't know if you guys have seen that for basketball. It's the 57 Topps design, which I think is cool. And they're doing a player a week that's like a hand-painted style card that looks pretty cool. It's coming over from the baseball side of things. But the first two players did nothing for me. I still bought them just for the sake of putting together the set. But the third player is Kevin Garnett, was the coolest one so far, in my opinion.
Who were the first two?
LeBron, bum, and Jalen Brunson, also a bum.
No bias at all.
No bias.
Yeah, that does sound cool and sound interesting, as well as the Topps Now stuff. I'm excited to pick up some Topps Now stuff I'll never buy it, I think, from Topps directly, because the baseball stuff, it's like, I'm not going to pay $10 for a base card has hundreds or thousands printed, and literally could be bought for $2 later or $1 later. But
what are you expecting the Kings to get as a Topps Now card?
Russell Westbrook got a Topps Now card for becoming the highest rebounding guard in NBA history.
Wow.
So
that will easily be the best Kings Topps Now card of the year.
It really could be. I don't know. We'll see. I'm hoping we have something. We just got to make space on that roster for people to actually play basketball. But anyway, I don't know. I mean, Sabonis has also had some like crushed ribs to start the season, so I'm hoping he has been rough to start. So hopefully he can rest up and recover. All right. Are we, I feel like we've done a sufficient job talking about our letters to Santa and what we're going to tell him and ask him to bring us.
Yeah, I've lost. I'm starting to check the score of the Patriots Jets game right now, so I've definitely hit my space where I'm fading out.
Awesome. Well, yeah, that was a lot of fun talking about what everyone's looking for. Make sure that if you don't already, you listen to Pack to the Future. And if you're interested in their Secret Santa, hit them up on Instagram and let them know so you can join in. I definitely want to do that tonight. And yeah, thank you all for hanging out. Everyone that was in the chat, Hondo and Drew and everyone that was hanging out. Yeah, hope you guys all have a great week and we will see you guys around.
Awesome. Be well, everybody.